Mazi, you'll be out. Mazi, let's see.
It's been years since Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, was first arrested, renditioned, and brought before the Nigerian courts. His trial has moved through twists and turns, adjustments, legal roundings, changes in counsel, and political tension. But now, as the case returns to court, a new chapter is unfolding, one that could reshape both his defense and broader narrative surrounding his cause. In October 2025, Nnamdi Kanu made a dramatic move. He dissolved his entire legal team and personally filed a motion naming 23 witnesses for his defense. The list raised eyebrows across the nation. Among those names are some of Nigeria's most powerful figures. Abubakar Malami, the former Attorney General of the Federation, Nyesom Wike, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory and former Governor of Rivers State, Dave Umahi, Minister of Works and former Governor of Ebonyi State, Tukur Buratai, former Chief of Army Staff, Theophilus Danjuma, a former Defense Minister, and Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Governor of Lagos State. To many observers, this was not just a legal tactic, it was a political statement. Nnamdi Kanu faces serious charges, including terrorism and treasonable felony, allegations he has consistently denied. The prosecution accused him of inciting violence through his broadcasts and of maintaining links with groups that targeted Nigeria's security forces. His defense, however, insists that he is a political agitator and not a terrorist, a man pursuing his self-determination through lawful means, who became a victim of extraordinary rendition from Kenya in 2021. Over time, his trial has stalled on questions of legality and human rights. The Court of Appeal once discharged him, ruling that his rendition was illegal, but the Supreme Court later ordered his retrial, reopening the door to fresh proceedings in Abuja. Now, with this latest filing, Kanu is signaling that he intends to take control of his defense personally from within detention and shift trial's focus towards those he says orchestrated his arrest and rendition. What to expect in court? When court resumes, the atmosphere will be tense. Nnamdi Kanu's motion seeks a 90-day window to represent his case, a time frame much longer than the 6 days earlier allocated. The court will first have to decide whether to grant that request or not. If approved, proceedings will move into the defense phase, where Kanu's team, now reportedly handpicked by him, will begin calling witnesses. Some of the witnesses are expected to testify about his alleged kidnapping in Kenya, his treatment in custody, and the security operations conducted in the Southeast during his absence. The prosecution, on the other hand, will try to narrow the discussion back to the charges to prove that his speeches and directives led directly to the violence and unrest. Their focus will likely be on evidence of incitement, financial links, and any communication tying Nnamdi Kanu to armed groups. They will resist any attempt to turn trial into political inquiry into the actions of government officials. The judges face a very herculean task. They will have to balance the act. They must maintain judicial neutrality in a case that has long been politicized. In the eyes of international community, from a human rights observer to diaspora organizations, everybody is watching closely. And any perceived bias, delay, or manipulation could further erode confidence in the fairness of Nigerian justice system. So why did Nnamdi Kanu sack his lawyers and take such an extraordinary step? Analysts see multiple layers. Let me explain. First, control by dismissing his legal team. Kanu reasserts authority over his own narrative. For years, he complained about being silenced or misrepresented. Now, he is dictating the strategy, making it clear that his trial isn't just about his actions, but about the system that brought him here. Second, symbolism. Naming high-profile officials, from ministers to governors to generals, send a message. These are not random names. They represent institutions Kanu accuses of complicity in his arrest, rendition, and alleged persecution of his followers. By calling them as witnesses, he's flipping the script. Instead of being on the defensive, he's demanding that those in power answer questions under oath. Third, public perception. Every move Kanu makes reverberates beyond the courtroom. His supporters see him as a freedom fighter. His critics call him a destabilizer. By pulling down powerful figures into his case, he emerges and energizes his base and keeps the trial in headlines. In a way, he's turning the court into a stage, not just for justice, but for political theater. And finally, there is strategy. Legally, if these witnesses are indeed summoned, the prosecution could face complications. The logistics, the politics, the security, the implications of compelling ministers, governors to testify could slow down proceedings and shift public sympathy towards the defense. In the coming weeks, the court will review Kanu's motion, decide on the admissibility of his witness list, and set new dates for the defense phase. Observers expect heated exchanges between the prosecution and the new defense team. If the court allows him to call even a fraction of his proposed witnesses, the trial could stretch well into 2026. Each testimony would open new chapter, some potentially implicating the same government institution that once accused him. If, however, the court limits his witness list, Kanu may appeal again, arguing that his right to a fair hearing has been compromised. Either way, the proceedings are entering uncharted territory. For many Nigerians, this trial is about more than one man. It's about identity, justice, and the boundaries of dissent. For the judiciary, it's a test of independence. For the federal government, it's a challenge to balance national security with human rights. And for Nnamdi Kanu himself, this is perhaps his defining moment, an attempt to turn his courtroom battle into a referendum on truth, power, and accountability. As the next hearing approaches, tension builds once again. Supporters prepare vigils.
Supporters and observers across the nation.
Security agencies tighten surveillance. Legal observers sharpen their pens. Whatever the outcome, one thing is certain: Nnamdi Kanu trial has entered a new phase
and created shock across the country.
A new herd
Before I
bad.
go deeper into what happened and why this decision is shaking many people, Please
that could reshape not just his
You
fate,
can follow updates
but the story of political resistance in Nigeria.
to reach more viewers and continue sharing real-time stories.
Please kindly share
Who made this announcement?
and like this page
Court could not believe it.
and subscribe
This is a case
so that I can continue to bring you groundbreaking stories. Thank you for
lawyers,
listening.
senior advocates,
Bye bye.